So iOS 10.3 Beta 1 and macOS 10.12.4 Beta 1 has both came out today, and both of these have two really big features. Let's get into it. So I just want to start off by talking about iOS 10.3. We don't have a dark mode, sadly, which I was kind of skeptical about. I know they did add nightshift, which is probably my favorite thing from iOS 9, just because that's really the one thing that I gradually think of when you say iOS 9 is nightshift, and it's just huge. I can't go into the night without having to know now. My eyes have just adjusted that way. And so I'm really glad they added that in 9.3. 10.3 is not that big of an update yet. It's still in beta, so anything can change. One big thing, and probably the biggest in settings, is now you see your Apple ID, iCloud, iTunes, and App Store information all at the very top in this little card. I actually like this a lot. You go into it, it'll tell you everything from your name, phone numbers, and emails, to your passwords and security, to payment and shipping, to iCloud. This is where you get into iCloud now. iTunes, family sharing, and then your list of devices. I know I have too many. If you actually go into iCloud, you can see this new iCloud storage option, and it's pretty cool. It leads me to believe that I'm hoping this is kind of a grand scheme towards some kind of finally iOS 11, macOS 10.13 fuller iCloud integration. Apple's kind of killing off their MacBook time machine with the routers and stuff, as they just laid off like most of their router division and reprogrammed them to other places. So I'm hoping that in macOS 10.13 there's some kind of iCloud Drive time machine integration where it backs up all your MacBook instead of just like certain files that you upload to iCloud Drive. That would be super dope if they did that. Just saying. So the next thing on the list is Find My iPhone now has AirPods, and that just brings me to a complete and total rant. So it is now January, the end of January, so that means that a month has been out where the Apple AirPods have been out. Apple AirPods were announced back in the iPhone 7, literally right after iOS 10 came out. That gives them 10.1, 10.2 to update to this feature where you can track your AirPods through the Find My iPhone app. Now, there was an app that did this for you, and then Apple immediately removed it because, well, now it's on iOS 10.3. But that is crazy to think about, that this won't even come out to the public until like March or April. And in April, that'll be 4 months that the AirPods have been out, that you can't even track them. Like, that's really crazy, especially since they could have implemented it in 10.1 and 10.2, so that way, as soon as you get your AirPods, you know, even if it's not perfect, at least you can track them. And so it's really ridiculous that they waited until now to add that feature. I'm sure a lot of other people are not as happy about it either. Siri can also be used to pay bills. You can schedule a ride with Siri. And if you 3D touch the weather icon on maps, you can see an hourly forecast. So that's kind of cool. And then there's some CarPlay UI changes for shortcuts, like the most recent app. And since I have Apple CarPlay in my Jeep, pretty nice to have. But that brings me the whole AirPod fiasco of waiting 4 months to implement a way to track them into another feature that was just implemented in macOS 10.12.4 Beta 1, which is night shift, and we need to talk about that. So don't get me wrong, I'm really glad that they're implementing these things, but at some point, like, is it too late? I mean, I know it's never too late, but still, like, you need to catch up. Night Shift was released on iOS 9.3, and still in later betas and later software updates, they were still tweaking with things like the low power mode using night mode fiasco, if you remember that. So I can understand why it never made its way to the Mac, as it was kind of a test on 9.3 in Mac OS X El Capitan. but it should have been in the original release of macOS 10.12 Sierra. Like, besides the minor things with the whole storage system and cleaning that out and reorganizing things over there and tabs, and Siri was like the biggest thing on the Mac. Like, that's all that they had to show for on the Mac is Siri. That was their main thing. Everything else was either integration with iOS 10 or tabs, and how often do you use tabs in something like Pages? Please let me know if you do. So it's crazy that from macOS 10.12, where it probably should have been implemented, to 12.1, to 12.2, to 12.3, that we're just now getting it. Like, it could be March or April, like I said again, before you get that, and then you're only 2 months away from a beta of the next macOS. Like, this is really crazy. How often have your eyes been adjusted to your iPhone or iPad's display at night, and then you go to use your MacBook and it's just blinding, so you have to turn the brightness down all the way? I mean, please raise your hand if you have. I'm really glad that they're implementing this, don't get me wrong, but it's super late and it's kind of sloppy, to be honest. I know that it takes a while to implement these things, but there's no excuse why it's just now being implemented instead of in the original Sierra update. It's like if you have a birthday in January and you really want this Christmas present, like it's the only thing you really want for Christmas, and then you get it in January for your birthday. You're still glad you got it, but you kind of wanted it earlier. This is exactly what Apple's doing to us now. I mean, look at iOS 10. A lot of people have said that iOS 10 was the catch-up update to Google and Android, and for most of that I can agree. Let me know what you think down below, and also if you like the update. I'm kind of happy with it, but I would have also really liked a dark mode. Seriously, if we don't get a dark mode in iOS 11 or in a later beta, I might actually die. Thanks for watching, comment, rate, and subscribe. Let me know what your thoughts about all this was. I kind of went on a rant, so I apologize for that, but there's really nothing else to talk about. For such a big 10.3 update, it was kind of small. Thanks for watching, have a great day.